welcome back to another episode of American Honey. This is a little bit of a different scenery because, as you know, the storm's coming in and we're having some Wi-Fi problems. But today I am so excited because I'm sitting down with Tremayne Blair, an actor who is building an incredible career in using his platform to share inspiring stories. He's currently starring in a faith-based film called Unfailing Love and has another inspirational movie coming up that we will get into today. We're going to get into his journey as an actor, what it's like becoming more named in the industry, and how his faith has shaped his path. I'm so excited for this conversation. So say hello to Tremayne and let's get into it. How are you, Tremayne?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much for having me.
Of course, I'm so excited for this. So let's get into it. For the people that don't know you and are just discovering you now, how would you describe yourself and your journey?
I would describe myself as a bit of a class clown. I am one of those who it's an adrenaline rush to make people laugh, make people smile. I'm a huge giver and just one of those who strives to want to do my best to push people forward. Um, and I just find the wonders and the beauty in life to be that much more fulfilling if I say this all the time. If you just walk with a we not me mentality, I find that is just the way to go.
That's amazing. I am so excited to dive into your story. So, what first inspired you to start making your story public and start doing more interviews and podcasts like the American Honey podcast that you're on currently?
Yes, yes, and shout out to your podcast. I think that there are wonderful and beautiful things ahead for you, and so it's an honor to just be but a speck in the amazing thing that God's got in store for you in your podcast. I just felt that it was necessary because how I got into acting, which I'm sure we'll get into, was completely unorthodox, and it was something that I just handed to God, and the moment I did that, doors started opening up that should not have been opening up. And so it's been a wonderful and a beautiful journey that I truly believe that it can be an encouragement to other people.
I love that. And so, how did your acting journey begin, and what were those early years like for you? Because, I mean, this is an absolute journey that you have to be on.
Yeah, so it's actually really cool. So I wasn't one of those who went to acting school or anything like that. You know, one of the earliest memories I can ever remember is being in eighth grade in school and running down the hall, and our drama teacher was auditioning for our school play, and I heard a girl in the auditorium reading her lines, and just jokingly, I was mocking her going down the hallway, and the drama coach come and pulled me in and gave me a script. And she was like, "Read this," and I thought I was in trouble, and I ended up reading it. I got the part. I ended up playing the devil in the Diary of Adam and Eve, but it was more of a comedy, and we won
Yeah.
state in it. And so that was really like the birthing. But as far as like TV and film, it's kind of like one of those things like you. It's just insane. So I was at an award show for music, and I was at the refreshment table, and I was literally just pouring punch into a cup, and I was goofing off with people around me, and there was a casting director standing behind me, and she thought that I'm assuming she thought I did acting, and so we engaged in conversation, and she asked me, she said, "Do you have experience in film or television?" And I literally laughed at her. It was like, "No," and just walked off. And the nominees at my table was like, "Dude, do you know who that was?" And I was like, I don't know." And so they pulled her up on her phone, hand me their phone, and I saw she had casted for like so many things on like HBO, Showtime, Disney, and
Wow.
I went back over to her and I was like, I'm so sorry. I thought you were blowing smoke. And turns out she was casting for season 3 of Homeland and talked me into auditioning. I ended up getting the part, and it was just one thing after another after that. So it was, like I said, it was one of the most unorthodox journeys of just literally being in the right place in the right time. I've always believed I was goofy at heart. I had no idea I could actually get paid for it.
Yeah, that's incredible. That's such an very unorthodox journey. And it seems like it kind of all started with you joking around. You're joking around about the girl, and then you're just joking around with your friends, and the she's comes up to you. That's God had you right where He wanted you to be, doing the exact things that you wanted to be doing.
Absolutely, 100%. It, like I said, it was literally just a right place, right time. And I can remember sitting in the trailer on Homeland, and I remember just sitting there and just telling God, like, God, I don't know why I'm here or what's going on, but if this is a plan that you have for me, like I'm handing it to you and you're going to have to do it because I have no idea what's going on. I can remember the director going, "That was really great. Now we're going to get your POV." And I'm like, "Excellent." And then he walks off and I pull like the key grip over and I'm like, "What does POV mean?" So like I had no idea anything in the industry. So I literally just said, God, if this is you, open the doors. And he did. He just started opening door after door. So I go from goofing off at a punch table to now being so blessed to be starring in a movie now.
That's incredible. So what was it like for you to go from those moments to becoming more of a named actor and really gaining momentum?
It was it was it was a unique experience. I'm very thankful to be surrounded by people that I'm surrounded by. You know, one in particular, my twin sister, because I had ended up taking acting classes, and I remember my acting coach telling me, like, once this movie goes public, your life is going to change. And it did. Like, I went from someone who, you know, is walking in the mall and buying tennis shoes or shopping at the grocery store to now I'm sitting at a restaurant and people walking up and going, I'm sorry, are you Tremaine? Like, can I get a picture with you? And like, so it's just that, or you know, being with friends and my friends start laughing and I'm like, what are you laughing at? And they're like, those people at that table are trying to figure out if they are who you think they are. Um, and so, you know, those kinds of experiences. But you know, I have people like my twin sister who keep me humble and remind me, you know, where this blessing came from and don't think that you did it all on your own and don't take it for granted.
That's great. It's so good to surround yourself with people like that. It's really important to not surround yourself with people who are impressed by you. That's constantly raining in my head. It's just don't surround yourself with people who are impressed by you. But it's so amazing that you've taken this journey with God and you've just given Him the reins and let Him lead you to where you are. And you were starring in Unfailing Love. That's incredible. Tell me about that movie and what drew you to that role.
Yeah, so Unfailing Love was just an absolute incredible experience. And again, it was one of those opportunities where God used someone else to point me to it. You know, shout out to my friends Richie and Bethany and 523 Studios. They are actually the creators. I don't know if you've seen it. They are the creators of The Promised Land.
Yes,
Uh,
I watched that. I love that show. Yeah.
Yeah, so they actually were a part of the Unfailing Love process, and Richie had reached out to, he saw the script, and he told the director, I know a guy that I think would be perfect for this role. And so then he reached out to me, told me about it. I ended up getting connected with Jewel Powell, shout out to her, and she sent me the script and I remember reading it, and when I first read it, I actually didn't realize. that it was based off of the story of Hosea. Um, and once that got realized, like that was a different weight that was put on my shoulders. And so really like embedding myself into that character, into what it looks like to take that story and communicate it in a modern language, was just it was an experience that has helped to shape and mold me in additional projects and other things that have come down the road since landing that character.
Yeah, and I was gonna ask you, how did starring in a faith-based film impact you spiritually? Because I'm sure that movie will impact so many others spiritually that are watching it, but I can only imagine the impact on you actually starring in it, being in the making of the movie.
Yeah, it's unique because as an actor, you always want to go into a character making it as authentic as you can, because the more authentic you can portray a character, the more you draw your viewers into what it is that they're watching. This, however, had a whole different scope because not only am I portraying authenticity of a character, I'm also having to portray biblical truth. And so there was a whole different kind of dynamic. So I remember like constantly reaching out to my minister mentors with questions, and even in some cases going like verse by verse in the whole book of Hosea, and just getting an understanding, things that would rattle my mind. And I would get teachings of, God knew that she was committing adultery, and he still was instructing Hosea to take her back. Like, that goes against everything else in the Bible, and yet God is going against the grain. But it's because he had a bigger message within. We saw what was going on with the adulterer and what looks to be the weakling in Hosea, but God had a whole bigger picture for his people. So having to carry that weight of, I'm not only a character, I'm a message and a inspiration for people who were for viewing it. So it was nothing but amazing tools that I was able to instill in myself, again, as I go forward with other projects, and bringing those characters to life.
Yeah, I've heard that same thing from other people who have starred in or been in faith-based films, that it's like a pressure because you want to keep the biblical truth and you don't want to portray someone wrong. You want to make sure it's on the book. So I have heard that story before and I get it.
Yeah, yeah. It was, and then it didn't hurt to be surrounded by such a amazing cast. Kelsey Delaware, she was so amazing to work with. She played Ariana, and then Q, who was the bad guy. Being able to just sit down, fellowship with them, being able to engage in conversations with Jewel, who is a minister in herself, and Richie, who's also in the ministry. Just really making sure that what it was that I was bringing in front of the lens carried as much scriptural scriptural and biblical accuracy as it could. Like, it wasn't just about the scene; it was what's the message that's being told in that scene to its fullest.
Yes, yeah. So you have a new movie coming up. What can you tell us about that movie?
Yeah, so I literally just found out about this one last week. It is based on a true story. It's about I don't know if I'm allowed to say his name just yet, but
That's okay.
it's about a soldier in World War II, and his life afterwards, and just the amount of lives that he impacts throughout the rest of his life and his journey. Like I said, it's based on a true story. The soldier is actually still alive to this day. In a few weeks, I'm actually going to travel to go meet with him and just sit down, fellowship with him, just pour all my questions out to him, and understand the view from his lens. And so I love so much playing characters that are based on true stories and more so historical figures. Like
Yeah.
that is my absolute favorite. I've gotten to do that several times. And Frank Baker, Charles Langston, now this character. I guess you could count Hosea in that same realm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love so much playing historical figures based on a true story.
Yeah, I think that would be my favorite too if I were an actor. So what's the most challenging part of growing in this industry? Because it is a hard industry to grow in. It's a cruel industry, but you have found a way to find the light in it. So what has been the hardest part of doing that and just growing in the industry in general?
I think the hardest part would be making sure you root yourself in a way that you don't get caught up in the darkness that actually does surround this industry, unfortunately. I could go back to Unfailing Love, and I can remember like when the movie first came out, I was at a position in life where like it sounds crazy to say, but like you have people who are like just waiting at like your beckoning call, and like every request that you want is met. And I can literally go remember going into a restaurant and I go to pay, and the owner literally goes, "Yo, your money's no good, no good here. It's on us." And I remember having a conversation with some friends, and immediately I told them I could immediately realized how people get caught up and like so they begin to drown in what it is to be that actor, and like
Mhm.
this sense of entitlement of like I'm this person, worship me. And so one thing that I pride myself on is no matter what TV show, set, commercial, modeling, no matter what it is, every time I go I step on a set, before I set foot in front of a camera, I will call a minister mentor and I will have them pray over me, because I want to make sure that I never forget why I'm in this position in the first place. Um, and so you gave me the gift. Let's work hard to make sure that, to the best of my ability, that I'm pointing the gift back to you. And not every project allows me to do that, but and I'm trying to get my career in that direction. But as much as I can, I want to make sure that what I do points back to him, because at the end of the day, that's all that matters.
Yeah, so I guess that would be the answer to my next question, which would be how do you stay grounded when navigating success and recognition?
Yeah, it's just a we, not me. I'm in this position because of the opportunity that he blessed me with. So it's a joint effort between me and the Father. I did not do this by myself in no shape, form, or fashion. And so it's just making sure that that reminder stays at the forefront of my heart. I don't ever want to be that actor that's like, yeah, it's did this all by myself. I didn't need nobody's help. Like I got
Yeah.
this. Like God, you can sit down. I got this. No,
Me.
so yeah. So at any moment, the moment that someone tries to give me praise, it is my sincere will to make sure that I point it back to the Father.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. And it's really easy to get caught up in, oh, when things are going bad. You say, oh, God, I need your help. I need your help. And then he helps you and you're like, oh, I got this. So how do you balance that with wanting his help, but then realizing that you always need him, even when it's going good, even when you get a new part?
Yeah, I mean that's a really great question. I think, at the end of the day, it comes down to knowing where your heart stands and the wisdom that you carry. Because not just acting, it's an everyday thing. Like the fact that you can wake up in the morning and use your left hand to brush your teeth, that's because God blessed you with a functioning limb. He could have you just walking around with nubs, and so um, even something as simple as that, like have a heart and a mindset not to take that for granted. And it is, again, surrounding myself with people who help keep me rooted and help keep me grounded. I have several friends that are pastors, minister mentors, youth pastors, and so always engaging in conversations with them and just seeing the light that shines from them, uh, kind of making them the method of my life of going, yes, implement that. You know, make sure that you carry that crest on your shoulders, and just again keeping that mindset. That transferring of your mind, renewing your mind daily. Make sure that you carry this mindset in everything that you do. Um, it makes it way easier than that selfish, that dark
Mhm.
mindset of like I got this, and
Yeah.
if you close this door, I'll just go open another one. Yeah, good luck
Yeah.
with that. Good luck with that.
Yeah. Yeah. So, what advice would you give to people, teens especially, who want to pursue acting, but they don't know how to balance that, keeping God at the center, but also wanting the recognition and also wanting to just be successful?
Yeah, again, I don't want to sound like a broken drum, but it starts with the heart. Like it starts with the heart. If you have these aspirations, I'll be the first one to tell you, like, go for it. If I can be a resource for you in any way, I won't hesitate to be that. But it's so important to make sure that um, you're not doing it for a 100% self accumulation, because that will fall on its face all day, every day, 24/7, 365. Um, know that you're gonna have to put in the work. Know that you're gonna have sacrifices. Like there's nothing I find more humorous than someone who says that they want to jump in this industry, but going to the club or going to the beach with their friends for a week or a weekend instead of devoting this time to the craft, and just convincing yourself, oh, I'll just commit a couple of hours to it next week and I'll be fine. I'm like, yeah,
Yeah.
what you don't fail to realize is that there are 30,000 more people behind you that have way more of a hunger than you do.
Yeah.
So you have an opportunity to be you are standing at the front of your own line. Don't don't take advantage of that, because what you don't seize on, there are thousands that will. And so that would keep work hard to keep Christ at the center, and um, make sure that you know that it's going to take work. Like this is not easy. I think I speak on behalf of all actors where when I say probably one of the greatest insults you can say to an actor is, "Gosh, I wish I could do what you do. That's so easy." I'm like, I'm like, wow, I will hit you with a glass door.
Yeah.
Like it is this takes work. Like even now to this day, now that God has been blessing me to be landing starring roles and co-starring roles and being able to stand beside of named actors, even still I will go take a acting class to refine
Yeah.
skill, because there's always going to be someone better than me. I'm the music director at my church. There's always going to be a better piano player or songwriter that's better than me.
Yeah.
So stay hungry, stay
Mhm.
disciplined, stay focused, and never forget from which your help comes.
Yeah.
Um, do that, and I think you'll be fine.
Yeah, and I think that's the same thing with like singers. I mean, singers still take voice lessons. I
Hmm.
know most famous one, I know Carrie Underwood takes voice lessons. She's huge. All of these, I would assume all of these big singers, most of them are still taking voice lessons because there's always someone better than you. I play softball, and that is a big thing for me. I'm like, all right, I got to keep working. There's always someone better than me. No
Yeah,
matter how good you get, you just have to keep that mindset. And
yeah,
so that's a great mindset to have, especially for young people who are they're not necessarily at the bottom of the ladder, but they're young. They're just starting out. You have to climb a ladder, or you have to work to be the best. And as young people, it it might sound like it's a limitation that we're at the bottom of the ladder, but it's an opportunity because you're starting young. Look at all this time you have to get better, to be the best. I mean, it's a blessing if you know what you want to do while you're young.
yeah, yeah, 100%. And having that kind of mindset, for me personally, I just think like you have no choice but to succeed. Um, and so, I personally will become one of your biggest cheerleaders. I think it is amazing what you are doing, and again, um, I am beyond honored to even engage in conversation with you. And it's so true. Keep the right focus, keep the right mindset, and the the universe the universe is but the starting point. Go way beyond that. Probably one of the greatest compliments I've ever received is I had someone back home in my hometown in Virginia. Once landed the Unfailing Love starring role, he told me, he says, I always knew you were going to do great things. And I just kind of like nonchalantly kind of like brushed it off. I was like, how did you know I was going to do great things? And I will never forget this. He said, because ever since I've known you, you've had no idea how to think small. And that has always stayed with me. Like just that. And it's true. Like my company started because I have no idea how to think small. I'm where I'm at now in my acting career because I have no idea how to think small. I have another company asking me to be the vice president of their company because I have no idea how to think small. I've done things with music that has opened up doors that should not have opened up doors because I have no idea how to think small. Like we have this habit of putting God in a box no bigger than this. And I think sometimes he goes, well, if you think that's all I'm worth, then I'm gonna give you that. I don't. I'm like, God, you are bigger than an ocean. So shower me with that kind of love, wisdom, and blessings.
Yeah.
And so yeah, don't limit your skill set, don't limit your potential, and don't limit the destination that Christ has for you, because He has so much more for all of us than we could ever fathom or think. And even like this, I think this is just a starting point for you. I highly expect to turn my TV on one day and you're sitting there, and I'm just gonna be like, ha, called it.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I would just say don't make your goal something that you know you will achieve. Make it not something that you can't achieve because you can do all things through Christ who strengthens you. But if you know I'm I'm in I'm in 10th grade and I'm sorry, I'm in ninth grade. My friends are in 10th grade and we're all trying out for the softball team. I played softball since I was 3. My goal is to make varsity. And that's a huge goal for a ninth grader. That's not something I'm like, I'm going to make varsity. I know I'm going to make varsity. But it's something I'm rooting for. Doesn't mean I'm going to cry my eyes out if I don't make varsity. But I'm going to keep going where God wants me to go. I'm going to know it's His will. But my goal isn't make B team.
Yeah,
That's not my goal. My goal is I want to make varsity. That's my goal.
yeah,
Because
yeah,
that's something I know that I'm not definitely going to achieve, but that is my goal. That's the highest I can go right now in high school, and so that's what I'm shooting for. So shoot for the stars, shoot for the highest that you can possibly do at that moment.
yeah. I personally think that I think you might be able to do it, Miss Foster. I think you're about to be the next Michael Jordan story of softball.
Thank
So,
you.
so
I'm
again,
hoping so. I'm praying
yeah,
for it.
yeah, I'm gonna make sure I go purchase my "I Love Foster" T-shirt. So
Thank you. Yeah, I've got between softball and podcasting and I'm still just in high school. I'm not homeschooled or anything. I go to a public high school, so I'm just a regular teenager who just happens to also have a podcast and also be doing 10 other things. And I know you balance so much. So how do you balance being an actor and also being an entrepreneur?
it really comes down to discipline and making sure that you carry the discernment and the wisdom for priorities. There are responsibilities that I must adhere to in order for the company to keep a pulse. That is it is very important as a founder of a company. But there are also skill sets that I must constantly make sure that I am fine tuning so that I continue to book projects as a actor and a model. And so it really just comes down to, again, like I just said a few moments ago, like you just have to know that, like, with great things comes sacrifices at times. And um, if you're willing to lean into that, doors and opportunities can open up for you that um, in more cases than not you didn't even see coming. And it can be so fulfilling, and it can be so rewarding if you just open your heart and allow the opportunity to be. Discipline yourself not to entertain the distractions, not to get caught up in the noise that surrounds you. Have your vision, have your plan, give yourself that discipline mentality to stay grounded, rooted, and focused on it. Because the hilarious thing is that you allow these distractions and all these fleshy wants to consume you now, when you could fulfill your goals and your task and discipline yourself. And then when you get to the end of that, all those things you wanted to do before, now you can do now. It's just you got money in your pocket. That's the difference. And so yeah, it's all about the discipline. Always about taking time to give God thanks for the opportunities bestowed upon you, and then don't take them for granted. Seize upon them and give them the proper respect that they deserve.
I love that, Jermaine. Well, thank you so much for being on this podcast. It's such an honor to have you on here. Thank you so much for taking your time out of this awful day. The weather is absolutely horrible, and stay safe during the alleged storm.
Yep, yep. When it hits, I'm gonna go out there and make an ice snowman. So,
Oh yeah,
yeah,
an
be on
ice
the lookout.
snowman.
I'm probably gonna hit you with a snowball. So you
Oh,
just
yeah,
be on the
an,
lookout.
an ice ball.
Yes, an ice ball. But yeah, thank you so much for. This was such an honor to be able to just sit and fellowship with you, and um, I look forward to things that are going to be in store for you and everything that you touch, Miss
Thank
Foster.
you so much, and you too. I cannot wait to see all of your upcoming movies. The one that's definitely upcoming and all the ones to come. I'm so excited.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you for watching American Honey.